All right, we are live. It's an early morning. This is Joshua Kemble's live stream, episode 286, and it's the 4th of July, which is kind of awesome. I woke up, fed my dogs, fed the fish, all that fun stuff. And now I'm going to try to knock out the rest of the roughs for page 84 of Not Death But Love, The Strange Supernatural Story of Elizabeth Barrett Browning. And that should be pretty fun. Who am I? I'm Joshua Kemble. I've been an art director for 8 years. I've been a professional illustrator and graphic designer for over 20. And this is the live stream where I work on comics. And Mr. Jim Lujan said, good morning. Good morning, Jim Lujan. As you can see, I'm having my coffee. Still kind of waking up. Literally unshowered. Because I want to knock this out before I get into my day. So what I'm planning on doing is working till about maybe noon. And taking advantage of this lovely time we have off in this country before I go to a friend's house to have good old 4th of July barbecue and swimming, which I think will be really fun. All right, let's get into it. This stream, I think, mainly just going to focus on getting some work done. It is hilarious. I have triggered people with my last few videos, and please don't think this is me not taking joy in that. I just actually have to get some comic pages done now. And that'll do it for the intro. Let's get into working on some art and having coffee. How are you doing, Jim? What are your plans for the 4th, my dude? Okay, so we're going to go to our daily stream where we work on stuff. On our last stream, we mostly did commentary, and then we did a very small thumbnail for page 84 of Not Death But Love, The Strange Supernatural Story of Elizabeth Barrett Browning. And my plan today is to rock and roll on that page, as the kids say. Okay, so we're going to find our panel borders. The nice thing is this is a 6-panel grid, or sorry, a 6-panel grid. So our borders are already set up. How cool is that? That's one of my favorite things about working on these kind of things, especially roughs. And actually, thanks to Jim Lujan for the suggestion to kind of change things up a little bit in my process. It has kind of reinvigorated me. I'm like 84 pages deep into a very big project. And pages take me a long time to do. And it is very possible at every moment to potentially just totally burn out on the project. Anybody who's taken on doing graphic novels or comics would know this. Just, once you start getting to books that are like over 100 pages, you're talking about a lot of work. And so I was like hitting this point a little bit ago. Hold on a second. I'm really excited that I don't have to work on those borders. And what we'll do is make a copy of this thumbnail. Thought to be continued about Jim Lujan's wonderful advice. By the way, if you guys haven't checked out Jim Lujan's amazing animations, what are you doing with your life? They're hilarious. They're brilliant. I know Jim's in chat, so I don't want to fluff him up too much, but Jim is easily, I think, one of the funniest minds alive. And I feel really lucky to be friends with him. Paul Pate is in the chats. Paul, also a really talented cartoonist. who does the Detective Perez series. I encourage you guys to pick those up. Each book's like $5. Again, what are you doing if you haven't picked these books up? How's it going, guys? How's the 4th going for you? Paul, for some reason, you strike me as a guy who'd have a barbecue on the 4th. Am I crazy? Is that a misread? Paul Pate and I met in person. A couple. Paul was saying, "Fluff up Jim, he deserves it." Yes, and I'm not even going to get into the sheer amount of new direction jokes that we could make based on that statement that I had made earlier. But let's just say "Fluff It Up" is one of their hit songs. Yeah, so I was lucky enough to meet up with Paul and Jim, and then Paul's brother. Really nice people, and actually Chris Cawagua, not the Chris that was mentioned in videos before. Chris Cawagua and his lovely family, and just meet up and hang out and talk art and stuff, and it was a really cool time. Paul said no barbecue, was a vegetarian for 20 years. Oh, okay. I just meant, I don't know. Even if you're a vegetarian, I'd imagine you with just like a lot of corn, just like wrapped in, which we're doing at my friend's house. We're gonna wrap corn in foil and like barbecue. Well, I think also he's doing smoking like the meat and then the barbecuing the corn, which is one of my favorite flavors in the world, is barbecued corn. Jim said, "I'm out feeding the hungry and helping the needy." And then he said, "Actually, I'm just recruiting them for that Wagner group." Oh, no. So we have thumbnails to do, or roughs to do. We're going to go ahead and try our best. I shouldn't say we. I keep saying we. Like, what am I, the queen? I'm going to try my best to get these done. And yeah, we'll kind of see how this all works out and shakes out. I had my printout of the previous rough to reference, and then I realized, wait a minute, I'm smarter than that. I had the previous page as a small JPEG on here. I'm glad, Jim, that you're feeding the hungry and helping the needy and recruiting for the Wagner group. Good job. Paul said, "Oh, I see. Chilling at home with my wife, my favorite pastime when not drawing." Yeah, that's my favorite pastime too. My wife has been visiting a family member in a different state with my kid. Not going to reveal too much, but like sick family member. And so it's important for her to be near that family member, and so it's been really weird. I've had like a month without my wife and kid, and it's you get a little sad. However, I'm a bit of a workaholic and slightly autistic with patterns and repetition and stuff like that, and so I think that for me, actually, I'm really thankful to have the comic because it kind of keeps me busy. But yeah, if I had my wares about me, that would be what I do on the 4th as well. But it was one of those scenarios where it's like, I just can't take like 2 months off of work. I just can't, like, we can't afford to do that. But she was able to head over there, and then Ben gets to play with his cousins and stuff like that, which is awesome. So pretty awesome. Paul said, "Trying to get 2 more pages done today and then headed to Jim's house for some food." To Jim's house? Are you still in California? All right. So here we go. We are going to draw some cool stuff, and we're going to get stuff done. But happy 4th of July, everybody. I think it's actually going to be a really good one. My wife was a vegetarian for a long time. And so it was always interesting and challenging for us to find places to eat if we went out like to eat. And I remember, this is no offense to vegetarians out there. I really admire it and respect it. But when my wife wanted to go back to not being a vegetarian, I was pretty pumped about that because it opened up a lot of our options for where we could eat, which was kind of cool. But for about I don't know, like a decade of our relationship or something, she was a very strict vegetarian. Oh, Paul was saying he's not in Cali, but he's hungry, and since Jim is feeding the hungry and helping the needy, I love it. So I have to kind of remember where I was at on this comic. Where I was at exactly. I have to also go let the dog onto the bed so he can go back to sleep for a second. So give me like 2 seconds. What we'll do in the interim is I'm going to show you guys the lovely images that were drawn and sent to me yesterday, as well as this, and I'll be right back. Okay, so my sister-in-law has a really adorable dog, and it's like a tiny little Chihuahua, and the Chihuahua likes to sit at the foot of the bed and sleep there. But he's so tiny he can't hop up on the bed, and so I have to go over there, like pick him up, pop him on the bed, because he was like, "Dude, I'm tired. It's early." Paul said, "Being a vegetarian is a pain." Yeah, it's admirable. I just think at the age we're at least what we found was it's just really hard to sustain. What does a manager look like at the time in this era of time? Because that's something we have to kind of work out here. So let's look up Victorian stage manager. I'm just seeing if there's something that could give us some ideas of what a costume would be for a stage manager at the time. What sort of regalia did these people wear? So that's where we're kind of searching for on the interwebs right now. Let's look up a more specific one. Let's look up 1850s. Victorian stage manager. The dog is calling again, which means I might have to disappear for 2 seconds as we're looking this stuff up. So just to keep you entertained, I'm going to play Jim Luhan's trailer. I know it's a little early, but the dog beckons. I'll be right back.
Well, Peter, since I'm such a big music fan, I'm going to have to go with Karen Carpenter. Oh, Stu, I'm sorry. That's the incorrect answer. Trish, what you got for us?
I'm gonna go with Kim Gordon.
All right, let's check that answer. Kim Gordon. Do we have a Kim Gordon? Yes, and that means you're our new Wordzoid champion, Trish. Dale, tell Trish what she's won. Trish, you've won a copy of 2 stories, a memoir of faith and mental illness. Handwritten, hand-drawn, and handed to you by artist and writer Joshua Kemble. But wait, that's not all. You've also won a copy of Jacob's Apartment, the story of a doomed romance. What happens when you take Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind and put it in a blender with Ghost World? You get Jacob's Apartment, written and illustrated by Joshua Kemble. Trish, thank you for playing Wordzoid.
All right, great job, Trish.
I was told I was gonna get a lifetime supply of paper towels.
Awesome. I love it. So I'm still kind of searching to look for stage manager. I think the dog's settled now. I think they're okay. That's okay for those of you who are concerned out there. I don't want to lead to another tirade of crazy paragraph long comments regarding concern for whether the dog ends up sleeping on the bed or whether he sleeps on the couch out here in the living room. I'm joking, of course. And to be honest, we might do a little bit of commentary on this video. If you guys are up for it, it depends. It is the 4th of July, though. So I'm kind of thinking maybe just like a chill stream where we just get the work I need to get done. Let's make this back to our art stream. Sometimes I'll show this like kind of browsing process. I think at this point, you know, Paul said drawing, listening, concerned. I love it. So I think at this point we're going to find a how are you doing, Paul? I hope everything's going well. What page are you on now for your graphic novel? It's got to be like 70. You're getting closer to like 70 pages, right? Don't see any specific 1850s like kind of stage managery stuff. What I do see is W.S. Gilbert's Stage Management Methods. Let's check that out. Do you guys see this? That's kind of a cool reference. Now, all I'm looking for here is close. And it kind of looks like, from what I gather from this, I think this is just a comedy cover. So this doesn't necessarily help us. But now that I think about it, it's probably just kind of a well-to-do gentleman at the time. And I would imagine they probably don't have that much like specifics going on, like in the sense of costumes. So I think oddly enough, even though this is like a picture of a play, this might actually work. Yeah, Paul said working on 70, lots of cars and buildings right now. That's awesome. I feel like, Paul, that's like right up your alley too. Especially considering this one's whole theme, right, is like cars in it. It's actually, Paul is actually working on Cars 4, Detective Perez edition. I'm teasing, but you guys should actually check out Paul's Instagram where he's posting those pages. Okay, guys. Here we go. So I think we're we're going to have our stage manager. He's not here yet. We have our page previously, which is great. That gives us like kind of the staging. I think what we're going to do is we're going to have okay, Bosco is standing up in this from his trunk. So we have some sound effects. We'll get those in. Just the tap. Tap. And then we're just going to rough in. And then I believe Bosco is supposed to be saying Che Kos A. What is it? And actually, whenever it has a translation like that, I kind of feel like I need to do like a little what is it? I almost wonder if we should even have translations. I'll kind of bring that one up with my publisher because I think that would be a little better if we didn't actually have translations. I've seen quite a few movies that, you know, when somebody's speaking in a different language, they just speak fluidly in that different language and you can kind of intuit what they're saying. And I think in this case, people could probably do that. Paul said, I'm trying to pass you. What page is this you're working on? Well, you've already passed me because this is page 84, but this is roughs. So when it comes to finals, the last one I finished is page 76. And then everything else from there, from 77 to 83, is just a rough page. So, Paul, you have already lapped me and beat me, and I think you started later than me. So, what you have to, since you're a fast cartoonist, you should try to lap me twice. That should be your new goal. You've crossed me once on the finish line. If you cross me twice, like that's just hilarious. At that point, I feel like we should do a stream where you get to berate me pretty heavily. So okay, I've been thinking about some stuff today, which is kind of fun. Definitely been enjoying getting work done for sure. Been kind of enjoying this process of art, and I kind of was going to talk about that. Yeah, Jim gave me a call. I don't know, like a couple weeks ago, maybe like a month ago now, where he had kind of suggested that tip of like kind of changing things up. And weirdly enough, I think that really reinvigorated it. I'm trying to find my picture of home here. Not home, Bosco. Let's see here. So it's been kind of fun, you know. Because of the last few streams, it kind of cracks me up the idea of somebody who's like really into like partisan politics and they get to my stream and they're like, wait, he just works on comics. They're like, next. I like that idea. Let's see. So Bosco, we need to find his image. And then I think we'll be good. Let's see. So I've been thinking about a lot about like the art process and the kind of how lucky we all are to like work on stuff. Like that's what I've been thinking about. Um, like I'm glad I've gotten to a point in my life where I have enough kind of stability, I guess I should say, to like be able to do this thing, you know. And I really enjoy making stories and comics. Even this like has been really fun. I talked about this as like something I kind of hate. I do, but I also like love it. You know, I love doing it. And I think one of the funnest parts of it is like for me getting this far into the story where you can actually like really. I wonder if this applies to Jim too and Paul, but like to me, there's a level of excitement you get to. Like I've talked about this before, but sometimes like working on these projects, it feels like you're kind of working in slow motion, and especially like midway, you can kind of like almost like lose the plot because you're just in it, and you know it's just a ton of time. But I'm wondering if like Jim has this. I know with me, when I get far into it, like this far into it, there is a midstream kind of freak out kind of feeling where you're like, oh my gosh, I'm barely even close to halfway there. Um, but then along with that, there's also a really cool moment where you get to actually see the thing kind of coming to fruition a little bit. You get to kind of see the story pan out a little more. And you start getting to better story beats and stuff like that, and it gets it that's the fun stuff. Like to me, that's really exciting to see something that didn't exist before kind of like coming to life. And I feel like that's got to happen with animation where, you know, I think once you start getting cuts of different scenes, it's got to be like pretty thrilling to kind of have that moment where you're like, oh my gosh, this is like actually a scene. This story is actually happening, you know? Philip Chandler joining us this morning. Philip, what time is it for you? Is it noon? I always lose track of the time difference in the Canadas. The Canadas. I'm going to start calling Canada Canada, like Akira, right? Philip said, "Man, you're still going?" No, I went to bed, man. I went to sleep. I got a good night's sleep. My dogs woke me up at like 6 because that's when they have their breakfast. And then I played a game of Risk real quick. Nice. Philip said quarter to 11, 3 hour difference. Nice. Well, I hope you're having like a cup of coffee and enjoying yourself, Philip, getting some stuff done. Yeah, but it's just like yeah, I don't want to. I guess what I'm getting at is I don't want to take for granted the fact that I actually am able to get these things done, because not everybody is. And we were watching like a whole thing a while ago about like determinism, you know, and one of the things that I think is potentially true about determinism is the idea that I do think there are a lot of things that people attribute to their own kind of hard work. And I think to an extent that's really healthy, you know, because it's like, it's healthy to have, I think, a little bit of pride in what you've accomplished in your life. Like not me, but just like whoever, you know, like being a human being is full of like a million challenges. And so taking joy in the things you've accomplished in life, I think I don't think there's anything wrong with that. In fact, I think that's really healthy. But I do think one thing that I think, you know, again, like I don't think you have to be a full out determinist to believe this. I think there's just a lot out there showing that a lot of people have less free will and determination than they think. And so a lot of people are in like rough situations, or like are born into rough situations, or like, just have different circumstances going on. And that collision of all these different coincidences and stuff like that can really affect like whether somebody has time to kind of get creative, right? And so, anyhow, that's something I was thinking about this morning. Philip said, up late this morning. I'm just getting a coffee now. Nice. I'm probably going to get a refill in a second. So we have kind of home here. I want home to be a little heavier set, so I'll indicate that. I guess we might as well just make him a little heavier set. I also don't like his arms being kind of stiff. So I think I'll have his hand kind of out like this. And then we'll have... It's funny, I'm trying to decode my like really tiny little thumbnails. I think he needs to be a little bit smaller. And then we'll draw Elizabeth over him. Elizabeth's in this chair in the foreground. So yeah, anyhow, I don't know. I had this moment this morning, just kind of like petting the dogs, and they're hilarious. And I was like, it's pretty cool to have dogs, It's pretty cool to have like vacation time. I like back when I used to run my own business, you didn't get vacation time. Vacation time was out of your wallet, And being able to have like a few days off is really cool. Is this cheesy? I'm like in thankful hippie Josh mode. I got all my vitriol out yesterday. Or did I? Or did I? All right. Philip said, just reading the chat. Nice. How's your comic coming, Philip? Are you still working on it? I'd be really excited to see more of that. It was pretty cool. I haven't been able to catch the last few live streams, and it would be fun to... It does seem like you've been doing art block more. Am I crazy? Philip Chandler is a really talented cartoonist. He used to be a professional animator, like work for an animation studio. Killer artist, like killer draftsmanship. The caricature that I use at the beginning of this stream is made by Philip, and he very kindly was okay with me using it. And I think it's like one of the most awesome caricatures I've ever seen. What I need to do is, I know Paul did a sketch on one of his books of me. I need to scan that in. Because that was a nice little... It was a quick sketch, but it was fun. That's another thing out there. If somebody takes the time to like draw you, that's a really nice thing to do. It's just a really kind thing to do for somebody. Philip said, comic is a bit slow, but only because I'm working on a couple commissions. I should have them done this week, though. Nice. Commissions are good, though. That's money. That's good. Jim said, I'm a huge fan of Grateful Hippie Josh. Yes. And I mean, I'm definitely going to stay grateful hippie Josh. Or am I? Okay, anyhow, sorry, I'm really enjoying the stupid uh sound effects. Philip was saying art block is every Wednesday now. I'm going to be doing it weekly. Nice. I knew I was seeing them because I usually have been able to kind of keep up with your channel. And then there's been like quite a few that I haven't been able to watch. And I was like, wait a minute, like Philip's really posting these a lot more. So I'm glad I wasn't crazy in thinking that. But one thing that's really cool to kind of think about is all these people, striving to make these like weird little stories out there. Even in our community, it's kind of neat. Like we're all kind of battling our things and trying to like make the time to make this happen, And it's like an immensely cool thing. But it is hilarious to me for people who are unfamiliar with my stream, and might have just like stumbled upon my stream from like the kind of spicy like last 2 or 3. If they stumbled upon this, because they'd be like, what is this? This is my stream. This is what I do. Tomorrow we might watch a wacky debate having nothing to do with anything. Tomorrow we might watch a documentary. Tomorrow we might just draw and hang out. That's kind of what we do in this community. Okay, we're going to have a door here. And Jim said, I'd love to hear hippie Zen Josh in a slowed down voice. I might be able to make that happen, Jim. I might be able to make that happen. Let me see if I can make that happen for you. Am I not here to entertain you? I think this one does it. Hold on. Let's see. No, this one doesn't. Hang on. Nice. Philip said Adam joined him on his last stream. They were talking about laying out speech bubbles in comics. That's awesome. Paul said, not any. Oh, I think it was related to the. Okay, I think he's talking about his. Paul was talking about his stream and kind of having to take a break on it. Okay. Now, I need to find this thing. I can't remember which one it is. It might be this. Let's see if this works. It's called custom pitch. It's called custom pitch. Has this been on like an effect this whole time? Now I'm kind of curious. I think this one might work. Hang on.
Alright, guys. Well, that's like way too slow. Let's try something like this. So, Jim, you asked to hear Zen Josh all slowed down, and you got it, buddy.
How was that? That's hilarious that I can do that now. Jim said that sounds like Beelzebub, Josh.
Does it?
Let's try this, but a little bit slower. There we go. That's kind of disturbing how good this can sound. It can kind of just make you sound like a totally different person. That's really strange. So, I woke up this morning and had gone through some changes. Voice got deeper.
I guess we could also try something like...
Wow, that's crazy. Philip said, take it those features are in the paid version of StreamYard. No, they are not. It's like a separate app. Scott and Corey, I think, talked about it on Artcasters. I think it was our Sunday episode. And we're gonna have a door here. I'm kind of feeling like the door is just too close in this. So we'll kind of work on that too. Paul said, you sound like a 6'10", 350-pound Josh. A 6'10".
350 pounds. Gotta move the door. Gonna draw the door.
I'm sorry. I can't help it. It's too funny. Okay. I gotta say though, like, the master of voice changing technology would be Jim Lujan. I don't know if you guys are aware of this, who haven't checked out Jim's stuff, but like he does like most of the voices for his cartoons, and we'll mess with like pitches and stuff like that, and it's kind of hilarious. So I think I'm gonna have this go back. There's definitely like a picture in a picture frame there, and then we have back here we have like some stuff. And once we get to the hour mark, I'll probably refill my coffee, and then I can't promise there won't be a little more spicy crumble. I can't promise that. It might get spicy. So yeah, anyhow, that's just something I'm going to mention. Paul was saying Jim doesn't even need tech to do it. That amazes me. Yeah, he's incredible at it. I personally just feel like, again, you know, we have a lot of talented friends, you know? It's like having just read Gary Hodges' like Dinosaurs versus Marsbots again too. It's like, how is this guy like, I feel this way about Jim as well, but I'm just saying, like, sometimes I'll just be like, how is this guy not like the biggest cartoonist in the world? Like, you know what I mean? Do you guys ever get that? Like, where you have like a friend who's super talented, you're like, why isn't this person like the like big thing right now. Like, you know, it's bizarre to me. I mean, not that Jim is, very accomplished and stuff, but it always amazes me when you look at his output and the stuff that he's done. It's like, yeah. But I definitely have those moments with like quite a lot of people where it's like, how is this person like indie, Okay, guys, we're at like the 45-minute mark. We're going to go ahead and continue our roughs. I'm going to get a refill of my coffee. And I think we might get a little spicy in a little bit. But for now, we're just going to play the trailer for Jacob's Apartment. Speak clearly, it seems that only in dreams can we be these things we've seen and walk around breathing I don't know the part to play in this heart of mine. There's dissonant things, they split at the seams. I've got a fresh cup of coffee. Jim was saying, you guys are very sweet. Thank you. Step away. Paul was saying, yeah, it annoys him when he sees all these crappy cartoons on Cartoon Network and doesn't see him there. Yeah, I feel the same way. Like I read a lot of bad comics, and I'm not gonna like call them by name or something, but it's like when I look at like what Gary just put out, I'm like, how is that like not like at every comic shop? Like it just baffles me. The writing is so solid. Yeah, Jim's cartoons are so good. Like I just think they should be everywhere. Like they're so funny. And the humor is so unique. That's the thing I like about it too. And then you meet Jim and you realize like, oh my gosh, like like for me, like if I had to write something like that, it'd take me a long time, because I come up with like funny ideas every once in a while, but like Jim, like dude's always on, always hilarious. Okay, we got Bosco here, and I think to spice things up just a little bit. You guys thought I was hippie Josh today. I am going to be pretty chill. But I wanted to point something out because, like, on the last stream, hold on a sec. Let's get set up here. No, we'll wait it. We'll wait a little bit. We'll wait a little bit. On the last stream, though, somebody had talked about Sam Seder not being somebody the right is afraid of. And I thought we'd watch the Steven Crowder thing I've been mentioning from like 2 years ago, guys. This is not like hot goss or like crazy topical stuff. but it's a classic. All right, let's stay with hippie Josh for a little bit. So I need to find the picture of Bosco real quick. Where is that? Just like to kind of keep the dude in mind, you know? These are such funny little thumbnails I'm starting with. I mean, honestly, my roughs are pretty weak too, but the thumbnails are so goofy. What is he saying here? He's going to be saying, Venite dentro. If anyone out there speaks Italian, I apologize. And then it's going to say, come in. With like a thing here. Anyhow, I think we should do some commentary on that video, and I think we'll do it right now. Just as like a case example, and it's funny. So we'll watch a little bit of that. This is from the H3H3 podcast years ago. Did I accidentally close it out? I had it all loaded up. Just have to find it. Oh, perfect. Okay. We can close out one thing. Philip was saying, Crowder. No, you will really enjoy this if you don't like Crowder. And guess what? I might use his name in the title because it's funny. Okay, here we go. This is H3H3. This is Ethan Klein debates Steven Crowder featuring Sam Seder. It is one of the funniest moments, and we're going to do commentary on it. And we're going to work on drawing these roughs.
To a very special episode of the H3 podcast. Today is my first ever debate against the one and only Steven Crowder, who thank you very much. Thank you. Steven Crowder.
Please stand up.
Who's standing up?
Ethan, please stand up.
Ethan, oh man.
Ethan, please stand up.
Who am I to disobey our great, glorious leader? Crowder challenged me to a debate.
Dogs have been fed, by the way.
He called me a layup. He said I was stupid.
Okay, so let's just pause here and, give a little context to it. I'm sure he'll get more into this, but from what I understand, I don't watch H3H3 all the time. I have a little bit. It's a very funny show. But Ethan Klein is like a comedian, I don't think he's like a political debater. Although, honestly, he's had some moments, recently where he's gotten pretty darn good at that. But let's continue.
Well, Steven, I think the debate speaks for itself. Steven Crowder, for those of you that don't know, is probably one of the most hateful, bigoted people on the platform. Racist, homophobic. I mean, pretty much hits every box. We made this big, beautiful compilation of some of his greatest hits, but it's actually so heinous and offensive that YouTube age restricted the first upload of our video. So that all is available for our members, the whole compilation, everything, which is, adds a lot of atmosphere. But for the sake of this version, we had to cut all of that out. But he is,
which I'm appreciative of, because maybe that means I can keep this a monetized video. Again, this is really classic. I some of these I haven't watched before. This one I have definitely seen before. But I just thought we should play this classic, just, since, no one's afraid of Sam Seder, apparently. Okay, let's continue.
Let's just take my word for it in that case, a giant douche. Well, my tiff with Steven came when he said that our clip about COVID, when we were saying it's okay to listen to scientists, said it was his favorite clip of all time. We went back and forth for people who have been following. And Stephen boldly challenged me to a debate and a video titled "Your Move, Ethan."
I will invite you on the show, Ethan Klein. I will have I'll follow you on Twitter. I will have Darren, my booker, reach out where you can come on this show.
Darren's his dad, by the way, right? Just say your dad, bro.
By the way, that's one of the funniest things that came out of this. They had done a little bit of research and they found out that he has his dad doing booking for him. The guy's a multimillionaire and his dad's like his booking agent. That's kind of funny. Again, punching up is funny. Happy 4th of July, everybody. We're working on this. I think his neck needs to be a little thicker. Again, I keep like drawing him as like a thinner gentleman, and he's supposed to be a little weightier, so we can kind of adjust that. Again, like when we get to finals, we'll get like way more specific about that, but I think it's good to kind of get his vibe. He also has like a flatter nose, I think. All right, let's continue.
He keeps trying to hide that it's his dad. You guys will get more info about the dad, but Darren's his dad.
We usually go after political figures, authoritative sources right on this show. Usually those are the people who we have to debate. Change My Mind is not a debate, but we've had politicians, scientists, Pulitzer winners, and every now and then a layup crosses our path who we just kind of like the shtick that you're only capable of.
Now, in our original video about Crowder, we had noticed that he had reached out to me to book me on his show, and he was kind of butthurt that I ghosted him all this time. And in this video, he claims here that he never reached out to a booker and that I'm lying about it. So here's what he says about that.
I'm going to assume that you didn't blatantly lie in some of the things that you said, that you're just really lazy or incapable of your due diligence. So you said we'll get to a female booker reached out to you for the show. Hey, Gerald, have I ever had a female booker?
So we're going to pause here for a second and just enjoy the fact that, like, again, like on one of my streams previously where I was commenting on stuff like this, somebody was kind of bringing up like, oh, they aren't just having conversations and stuff like that. Do you see how this promotion is kind of set up almost like a boxing match where he's like, oh, somebody wants to throw down and debate me. Oh, and like, it's like what are you scared? What are you scared? There's like a whole WWF kind of element to it, and so the idea that like people are watching WWF to not like see some action, it's just, I don't know, it's kind of weird. Again, I'm a nuanced guy. Like I enjoy discussions with people of all stripes. It's one of my favorite things in the world is to get in like really deep friendly conversations, but when you're talking like debates, you're talking debates. We're also really trying to get our I love this. I think this is hilarious. This is going to be a very funny panel. This guy's going to be like, I should have drawn the door through his blocked out fingers there, but this stage manager is going to be like kind of peeking. I also like the idea of his eyes being like a little more kind of obviously. Maybe I'll have him like a little vampiric. I think that would be really funny if he almost looks like a vampire. A vampire. That's a really short door though. It needs to at least be tall enough to let our friend over here in. Okay, let's I think we have that worked out, but I don't like how close he looks at this point. So, and I think at this point, I think we have like a vibe of Bosco, but maybe I can at least just move the Bosco thing over. Let's see here. And let's continue.
No.
Never, ever. Now you're either lying.
We don't work with women on this show. So that's impossible.
Or you're so lazy. because I don't want to bully you, and then you go and try and get us removed. You're so lazy, you didn't even just verify the fact that it was complete.
Well, you know what? I took this to heart. So I said, you know what, Stephen, I am going to look into this. I found the email that was sent to me. It was very professional. And it still had her social media contacts on it. And so I followed her down on Instagram and I said, hey, blank, did you ever do booking for Louder with Crowder? I'm just trying to verify that this email I got from you inviting me on the show is real or not. Thanks. Here's the email, by the way. Super professional. Definitely a real email, by the way. This one in particular, she immediately responded to me. She said, yes, I did booking for him years ago for a few months. I'm not quite sure whose contact you'd have now. I know his dad does his booking for him, though. Let me know if you need it to try to find his contact. Interesting that she knows that detail. That makes me think that is very real. And that he's lying about inviting me on his show. How odd. Well,
so again, H3H3 pretty good at their research, you know, like they're not a debate channel, but yeah, funny. Like, so he was kind of pretending, from what I gather, he's sort of been pretending that that like his booking agent wasn't female, and so he's like saying, therefore they're lying that I tried to book them. And turns out, nope, booking agent was a female. They kind of confirmed it. Point and return.
Yeah, and while we're talking about lying, Stephen, why don't you tell him that you never filed a lawsuit? Tell us if you filed that lawsuit against YouTube, Stephen. Come on, be honest with your viewers. And you know, Stephen says he doesn't want to bully me, but here he goes on to say this, and I am feeling very insecure now that Stephen has taken a shot at me.
Wait, the Kleenex.
Let me just say, first of all, you have.
Hold on a second.
We were making fun of the fact that Stephen had Kleenex on his table, which is pretty funny. Let's be honest. He's sitting there with gun holsters and tissue. I mean, what is he crying every second? So listen to this.
Get out of here. That's due to allergies. Okay. So I had a bronchial thing, which is community guidelines in a mutable condition. It's genetic.
Oh, poor Stephen with his allergies. Don't put the tissue on your desk. It's funny. All right, don't get so twisted up. Look how twisted he gets about me laughing about him crying all the time. He needs a box of tissue on his desk.
But I guess there's a ceasefire here, so we can talk about any genetic conditions like the lack of chin, lack of beard, 120-pound man wearing the Cinderella bandana on his head.
That one I didn't get. What's the 120-pound Cinderella?
I don't get the whole Cinderella thing. I don't get that at all. Let's see here. So I'm going to move this over, and then we're going to kind of work on the next thumbnail or rough for panel 3. And hopefully you guys are having a good morning. If you hear noises in the background, we're unpacking some stuff. So. I think it might be fish tank stuff, which is kind of exciting. At some point this week, I think it would be cool if we do the transfer to the big fish tank from the small. All right, just kind of keeping things chill this morning. We're at about the hour mark. I'm going to put on another trailer. This one will be for 2 stories. And then we'll get back to drawing and commenting on Steven Crowder's debate with Ethan Klein from 2 years ago. So we're back. We're watching Steven Crowder's debate with Ethan Klein from 2 years ago. It's kind of a legendary debate. It'll be important for anybody who thinks that Sam Seder does not scare anyone on the right. And let's see here. We've got like two of these things. Again, Steven Crowder is not a dude I've watched a lot of either. I know that he tends to go to college campuses, and he'll have done like months of preparation on issues. He even has like binders full of data and research and stuff like that. And he sets up camp on like a college campus and then tries to get college students that are walking to and from class to sit down and debate him, and then makes them look really foolish, partially because he's been prepping for this debate for like 2 months and they've been like ambushed. And of course, he always uses like really spicy titles that try to lure unsuspecting students to challenge him. So that's kind of, from what I understand, that's what I remember of. I think that's what he grew his fame on. I don't know how many change my mind things he does anymore, but that's what the Steven Crowder I was familiar with does that. So giving you a little context. So this is going to be Robert in the foreground. Robert's going to be, facing the door. What do we have for text? Forgive me if I'm a little sleepy too. I just literally woke up like an hour ago. But we got work to do this morning. So we're going to do some text real quick, and then we'll continue the legendary debate. Mr. Browning. That's what he's going to say here. Mr. Browning, this is my stage manager. While I cannot reveal the tricks, the other day, this young cartoonist named Vic did like 2 drawings of me and sent them to me on Instagram. It was really sweet of him. And honestly, like, I kind of think that might be something I want to hang on to, because I have a feeling with him, he's pretty young, and I think he's got a really bright future ahead of him if he keeps plugging away at comics and staying really driven and stuff. I kind of feel like with the access that people have to like the internet and the ability to kind of share their work and hold themselves accountable, I think there's just going to be like an influx of like really talented young cartoonists, who like kind of start out. You'll be able to see their whole progress. But yeah, those are really, I mean, they're way better portraits than I would have drawn at that age. And that's not trying to be like ageistic or anything. It's just, they're really good. And it was really quite cool. What is going on here? I don't know why my brush isn't working. There we go. Okay, taking. What is going on with my brush? My brush seems to be... Oh, I see what's going on. This is the problem of working in the morning. What's up? Feathers? Oh no. I think my dog might have eaten a bird. I gotta go for a second. I'll take a look at it. I'll be right back. Speak clearly, it seems that only in dreams can we be these things we've seen and walk around breathing I don't know the part to play in this heart of mine. There's dissonant things, they split at the seams. Okay, live update from the bird. Okay, so it looks like my dog might have caught a bird in the backyard. and like, because there were like feathers all over the floor, but no bird, just feathers, which is really mysterious. So now we were kind of. What's up? I should. So that poor bird, Philip Chandler said a murder most foul. So hopefully he's okay. Hopefully his stomach doesn't get sick. I'm guessing he probably didn't. I don't know. It's hard to think that he ate the bird because in the past he has caught birds before. I know for people who love animals and stuff like that, I hate to say it, like dogs and cats with backyards will kill birds. Oh, there's little pieces of the bird? Oh, so he got the bird. Okay.
Well, congratulations. You are a good hunter.
Good hunting to my dog.
He's not too surprising.
This morning, he was like out in the backyard, searching around, and he decided to kill a bird. Oh, I hope he doesn't get sick. I hope his stomach's okay. Is that terrible? Is that awful? He's a very dog-like dog.
I mean, I feel bad for the bird. But...
It's so funny because the last time I looked at him, he was just resting on the couch. And the next time, there he is having chowed down on a bird. It's so brutal. I just hope he's okay. Taking a look at the tools of my trade backstage.
And I mean, there's backyard sand too, so it's pretty obvious what happened.
Yeah, so I guess he probably was like stalking a bird in the backyard and then just kind of chowed down on it.
Ain't nobody getting in our house.
Credit to him for being a hunter, though. I mean, I'll give him credit. He's a sweet little guy. You'd have no idea. This was the America dog? Oh, no. Oh, that's so bad. That's so awful, the poor thing. Oh, my gosh. This poor bird. Didn't realize they were messing with the American dog. Well,
you're not in trouble, sweetheart. You're not in trouble. You're a good thing. You're fine. Just don't get sick. Oh my gosh, child. I was going to give it to you. He's very protective of dogs.
yeah. I think he's feeling all badass now with the fresh kill of the bird. He seems okay though, right now. Yeah, he's like actually pretty happy. He's probably pretty happy with himself. He feels like he did a good job. That is what you get, ladies and gentlemen, when you mess with an American dog. This is the same cute little dog on the stream a couple days ago that when I was saying America would like hop up on my lap. Same dog. Don't be fooled by his hunter cuteness. Philip said, I lived with a friend a few years ago who had owned outdoor cats and would catch squirrels and eat them in the back porch. It was really messy. Yeah, this one wasn't so clean. But we still have roughs to do, guys. We still have roughs. I like this guy's hair, but this isn't Bosco. That's not Bosco. He's supposed to be a little bigger. There we go. That's more Bosco. And this is going to be him kind of saying, hey, this is my friend. Were we doing commentary before the bird killing? What other streams are out there where you get comics, political commentary, birds murdered by rabid American dogs? Wild bird death. By a rabid, cute little dog. Okay, so here we're going to have our friendly dude who we had here, where he's popping his head in. And we're going to have him here. And I think what we'll do is we'll sort of establish, he's got this like kind of pompadour thing. Were we watching something? Were we doing commentary? You guys have to remind me. I got a little thrown off by the bird massacre. It's happening in my living room. Oh, man. I feel so bad for that poor bird. But I mean, it is my dog's yard, you know. That is nature. That is the wild. Okay, let's continue our commentary. It's going to get spicy again, guys. If the bird death wasn't enough for you.
I couldn't really
If
follow.
he's talking about me, I am not 120 pounds. Trust me, dude. We don't have it. Right. Well, anyway.
And to compensate with the beard that he uses just for men, or the...
With Fiverr, you can hire top-rated freelance experts in a variety of AI
This is
services.
an ad from there.
Eyebrow phrase like E.T. in the cornfield. It's so stupid, bro. The point is,
I always think it's like hilarious when people actually go to the debase themselves to making fun of my Tourette's. You know, it's like, well, okay, dude, I really got you hard with the tissue thing, bro. Just don't put the tissue on. I can't hide my Tourette's.
You fired the first.
So Ethan Klein has Tourette's, and that's why his like face twitches and stuff like that. So Crowder, because Ethan Klein made a joke about him having tissues on his desk, thought it was okay to make fun of a literal immutable characteristic. Classy, right? Let's continue.
First volley by making fun of his allergies.
Your allergies, dude. Poor
Which you didn't
Steven Crowder
actually
has a
do.
disability.
Yeah, we didn't
Yeah,
realize he
you
had a
know.
disability like that.
Yeah, I'm so sorry, bro.
Ableist much?
I had all that coming. Yeah. I'm deeply offended, though, at the bullying portrayed, and I take absolute cross with that. You know, and Dan had this one moment that actually went a little bit viral in the political community that Stephen notably ignored during our tit for tat. I'll play it for you here. And this is where
That
I'm
makes
leading
sense to a lot of people, but just because I feel like there's a decent chance Steven Crowder will see this, and this will be the only time that I get to say this. Debate Sam Seder, dude. Stop being such a pussy. I know that your dad doesn't want you to, and you know, but that was a long time ago. That was you're 3 years older now. It's time. It's time to debate Sam. So
and notably, he doesn't include this. He watches the whole clip, but not the debate Sam Seder.
Weird he didn't cover that part. He went into a lot of detail on everything else.
Oh, yeah. Oh, exhaustive detail. Now, who is Sam Seder? Sam Seder is the host of a political left-leaning.
Okay. So I'm going to go do one real quick checkup again on my dog just to make sure he's good. I want to make sure he seems okay. We'll see how that goes. But we have 3 panels roughly kind of worked out for our roughs, which is kind of exciting. So I'm going to play another trailer. I know it's been trailer heavy this morning, but it is the morning. I'm waking up. My dog just ate a bird, and so I need to go check on him. And I'll be right back. So let's play this.
Hi, my name's Chris and I like comics. I want to talk about this comic for a second here. I just got this in. I ordered it direct from my local comic shop through Diamond Distributing. It's Joshua Kemble's Jacob's Apartment. I really enjoyed this book. There's all kinds of comics out there, let's be honest. There's fun comics, there's superhero comics, there's young adult comics, there's adventure comics for kids. There's so many different things under the planet. But there's also an entire subgenre of alternative books. Real life, real world depictions in comic book form. Situations that happen to each and every one of us. And this is a fine example of that. If you get a chance, order this book from your local comic shop. You won't be disappointed. I can't sing its praises high enough. Okay? Check it out. Jacob's Apartment by Joshua Kemble.
The dog seems fine, which is great. Bird slaughter. Oh, I need a refill of coffee. Give me 2 seconds. Crazy dog. Okay, so let's continue our commentary.
Show called The Majority Report. Has 1 million subs. He's a big channel. Crowder famously backed out of a scheduled debate with Sam at Politicon, earning him the name Cold Feet Crowder at the behest of his dad. Sam secretly recorded the phone call with the organizer of the event, who exposed Crowder. Here's the call.
Yeah, that's a real shame.
I think you're bigger. Yeah, I don't know what his team is doing around him, and that's just for me to speculate at this point. I don't know.
He has a team. He has a whole team, and he won't do it. He can bring the team.
I believe it's his father, but I can't confirm or deny that.
By the way, everyone seems to be confirming that it's his dad doing all this shit behind the scenes somehow.
So basically, I mean, Seder just kind of exposed that he was literally dodging the debate. So that's interesting. We got to write our dialogue here. And so it's going to be, why, yes, would you mind, Ba? Did I already do the dialogue for the other scene? Yes, okay. It's going to be, why, yes, would you mind, Ba? Let's make it start here. Yes. Comma or exclamation point. Would you mind, Ba? And then this is going to be no, of course not. That is kind of you. That is kind of you, Senor Bosco. It is 8:45. It is the 4th of July. Happy 4th of July to everybody. Hopefully you guys are getting some work done. Thanks to everybody who's watching and in the chats. I appreciate you guys. Let's continue.
So people speculate that he actually backed out of the debate because Sam is actually, an informed, good debater. And they were afraid that, Crowder would look like an idiot. And so he backed out at the last minute at the behest of his father. The thing is, he's happy to challenge me, somebody that has no political knowledge, very little. I don't spend my day talking and thinking about politics, nor am I a debater, nor am I, let's be honest, intelligent. So let's be honest. So with all that being said, we figured let's get someone who is familiar with
almost
the topic,
forgot
who
she's
does
sitting
spend
here.
their time thinking about politics, and who is, unlike me, smart. So we've got a little surprise for Steven Crowder. So let's all enjoy the debate.
I'm really glad.
This is literally legendary moment online, guys. Okay? Keep in mind the context of this guy and his career. His career is sabotaging students who have no idea what they're debating. He's had the extreme advantage of being able to research the topic, print up binders full of data and statistics. And he's going to college campuses and challenging college students who have had no preparation on the issues to debate something that usually is kind of contentious and it's phrased in a way to kind of bait a young college student into, and then proceeds to humiliate them in these debates with the unfair advantage of having a million hours to prep. So keep in mind, that's how he built his career. Just so you know, because again, this thing that Ethan Klein is doing probably wouldn't be fair with a lot of people, but that's just something to kind of keep in mind. Because I think this is kind of fair. Paul said, nor am I intelligent. I like this guy. I think Ethan Klein is hilarious, honestly. He's really funny. Okay, let's continue.
Glad to have my next guest on the show. And I've always said this, I always respect people who enter into the arena. And, we've had a lot of debates on this show, which is different from a Change My Mind where we sit down and have conversations. But my old Brazilian jiu-jitsu coach always said, if you come a switch, we go switch. You go spicy, we're going to do a little spicy. So we always try and keep it as respectful as possible. And I really do appreciate the guy making the time, because a lot of people has a huge YouTube channel, several YouTube channels, one of the OGs. A lot of people watch him. You know him. Some of you like him. Some of you don't. Same can be said for me. Ethan Klein from H3H3. Ethan, thanks, man, for making the time.
You're very welcome. And I just want to say, I know you called me. You said that I would be a layup.
I think I used something like that.
And I think you're right, because I don't think I'm a very good debater. I think you know that. So I didn't want to make it too easy for you.
Oh, okay.
So I've prepared.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So
I'm sorry. Like, the other thing that kind of is great here is, I mean, Ethan Klein's a comedian, you know? So just keep that in mind. He's a comedian. So even that intense, just so you know, I've prepared. It's like a perfect lineup for this moment. And the reason we're reviewing this, guys, is when I was going over the last debate thing, a bunch of people were saying no one on the right is afraid of Sam Seder. I just want you to keep in mind that, like, a bunch of people in the comments section kind of said that. Let's see here. What was I thinking about this? I'm trying to remember. Okay, so Ba is still too high up for this to work. She's sitting down, so she should be lower in frame. I think we should have Bosco here. Okay, so this is going to be... This is going to be Robert. I kind of want his expression more. Robert's here. Robert's going to be saying... He's going to have his arm on his thing. I always like the idea of acting with posture a little bit. So to me, like, that's half of a rough, is kind of like you're sort of roughly showing costuming, lighting, and acting a little bit, just so that you're, like, in this case, my publisher can know where we're heading. And then here we go. And let's just make this like that. I also really don't like that tail or this tail. Again, like, these aren't finals, but I'd like the tails to actually work a little more logically. There we go. And stage manager dude. Let's just keep moving our references a little bit. Stage manager dude we're going to have over here. And keep in mind, we're watching one of the most legendary debates on the internet. Okay, let's continue in a second. I want to really focus on the stage manager here. Okay, so the stage manager is going to be... He's got his, like, kind of pompadour-y hair. And he's going to be kind of here. With his sort of lower coat. And his arm is going to be on the door. How about that? Do. And maybe he'll have this hand kind of here. And we're going to have like him here. And this will be the door. Just establishing that door again. And then we're going to have Bosco here. With his wild hair. And Bosco's going to have his his thing here. We got that going with Bosco. And we have some things kind of working out there. And then we're going to have our mirror here. And the picture frame here. That's too close, that picture frame. Door frame is going to be kind of here. Picture frame here. Corner of room. Just for fun, maybe we'll have the mirror kind of over here. Our mirror, and then we're going to have our bird cagey thing here. That's a lot overlapping her, but I think it'll work. And then we're going to have our kind of ceiling type thing here. And voila. Okay, we have... I kind of don't like how wildly hard it is to read the silhouette of Elizabeth now. So I think what we can do is kind of rearrange that a little bit, just so that the composition works a little more clearly. I think even if she's here, that's going to work much more effectively, because now we can kind of read clear differentiations. Between the figures and stuff. And I kind of like that maybe his arms to the side too. Need to rework Bosco's face here a little bit. There we go. Okay, I think that'll do to just kind of establish the scene a little bit. I'm gonna have Robert here. And we've got 4 done. So now we're going to play a trailer. I'm going to check on my dog one more time. And then we're going to come back and watch the most epic debate ever. So stay tuned. And here we got, let's see. Let's play, I think this is Philip's trailer, which is really cool. So.
Hi, my name is Phil Chandler. I'm a freelance artist, illustrator, and cartoonist. Today, though, however, I want to tell you about a graphic novel I picked up recently called Jacob's Apartment. This book was both written and beautifully illustrated by Joshua Kemble. It is the story of a doomed romance that causes the main character to question his beliefs and his faith, while he's also going through other tragedies in his life. Every page has been illustrated by hand and digitally colored with painstaking detail. It is an emotional story that causes you to think and even question things in your own life. And while the story is a tragedy, it is one that I was completely entertained by and I highly recommend. You can currently find this on Amazon or even check in with your local bookstore and see if you can order it. And while you're at it, you can also check out my Instagram at Phil Chandler Arts and also my YouTube channel by the same name, Phil Chandler Arts. And go by Jacob's Apartment.
All right. We're going to get into it now. So we have 2 panels left to kind of do just the rough lines for, and then we'll go ahead and do shading and stuff on them. And hopefully, honestly, this isn't the longest debate in the world. So hopefully that'll be enough time to kind of digest this content, then get ready for 4th of July shenanigans. Which should be really fun. Shenanigans. For sure. For sure. All right, are we ready? Let's continue.
So Dan,
what we were going
whenever
to
you're
talk
ready.
about is the initial quote that happened. I think he's looking off there. The initial quote that kind of was turned into a little bit of a meme, which wasn't intentional, and was you saying you don't even have to think about it regarding the CDC. And I disagree with that. I think people should think about it. I believe, and we talked about this through playful ribbing, in an aggregation of medical authorities and scientific voices to make an informed and rational decision. So where do you think that I'm wrong on that?
Stephen, do you know that the Spartans are like practice man love with children?
Oh, geez. Okay, so this is what's going to happen. What did I tell you? He was going to do anything he could to avoid. Oh, there he is. Oh no, Sam Seder. What a fucking nightmare.
Stephen.
All right. Does that look like a guy who's like not having an utter meltdown at the idea of debating Sam Seder? I'm just saying, no one on the right is scared of Sam Seder. Wait, let's back it up just a little bit.
Aggregation of medical authorities.
I just want you guys to see this one more time
to make an informed and rational decision. So where do you think that I'm wrong on that?
Stephen, do you know that the Spartans are like practice man love with children?
Oh, geez. Okay, so this is what's going to happen. What did I tell you? He was going to do anything he could to avoid. Oh, there he is. Oh no, Sam Seder. What a fucking nightmare. I had no idea this was going to happen. I thought Ethan was a stand-up guy. This is where we are. Yeah, I told Dave. Remember I told you?
Keep in mind, this guy ambushes college students all the time, like in a very similar fashion. So it's so funny. To me, it just makes it so much fair game. Right now we're drawing it gets better, guys. Right now we're drawing Bosco, and he is sitting back down on his trunk. I'm going to have him kind of adjusting his lapel. And he's just going to be sitting back down. I'm actually really excited because we're making pretty good progress on this rough. And what's great is once this rough is done, then, my day's work is done. And then I can enjoy my my vacation time. I hope you guys are enjoying your vacations. I hope you guys are having vacations. To my friends in Canada that listen to the stream, I hope you guys had a good Canada Day. I believe you said it was on the 1st, right, Philip? I hope that was awesome. And that was amazing. I kind of. It's so funny. So, did you guys hear that Michael Myers thing? The doon 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 doon. It's my sister-in-law's ringtone.
I entered the door and opened the door. I'm like, Barney, look! He's like, runs over and starts bouncing, screaming.
Oh, this was going to be their backs as they're walking out.
Wash my hands, so like, go on the leash. He was like, we're going there. It was like Disneyland. Like, ran out. Like,
Okay, so this is going to be Robert kind of walking out.
we like almost like speed walked the entire day. We were just like, oh my gosh.
And then this is going to be the stage manager. Keep in mind this is the daytime, so there will be sounds in the background. Let's see here. And that is like way too thin of a doorway. I think it needs to actually be wider. There we go. Do. And here will be, we might see like a little bit of the birdcage thing. And let's continue. Let's watch the funny stuff. Let's watch Steven Crowder get completely embarrassed. Do you guys want me to back it up one more time? Let's back it up one more time just to enjoy this moment.
Steven, do you know that the Spartans are like practice man love with children?
Oh, geez. Okay, so this is what's going to happen. What did I tell you? He was going to do anything he could to avoid. Oh, there he is. Oh no, Sam Seder. What a fucking nightmare.
You,
I had no idea this was going to happen. I thought Ethan was a stand-up guy. This is where we are. Yeah, I told Dave, remember I told you? I said I guarantee you he's going to do anything he can to avoid the debate.
Well, I just think he believes that he should debate you.
No, he doesn't. He just takes advantage of women with, mental health issues.
Steven,
Ethan Klein doesn't stand up and do his own
I
fighting.
gotta say,
It's just hilarious. Let's bring on FM.
You would do anything to avoid talking to me. I think the point that you made
at the beginning of Joe
this
Rogan.
Yeah, Joe Rogan and Dave Rubin and Jordan Peterson and Noam Chomsky and Sam Harris. Everyone's been avoiding.
And not just attempting to get your audience by jumping in.
Well, I debated with Charlie Kirk. Steven, I mean, it's about issues. Let's talk about those issues.
That's what you're doing here.
Valid points.
You're so clever. I had no idea that you were taking your show off early last time, coming in today with your pig pen peanuts eyes.
Let's pause here. He's been acting kind of like, oh, Sam Seder's not a big deal, like, that kind of thing. But he's like, you're so clever, you took your show off early. This indicates that he's literally monitoring the Majority Report to make sure Sam Seder is not going to ambush him. Like, that's how afraid this guy is of Sam Seder. He's like watching the Majority Report going, oh my gosh, they ended the show early. That means Sam Seder is going to try to debate me.
You take those off with the velveteen buttons.
We must have been
Black
very worried
eyes,
about
aren't
this,
they? Like
Steven. I don't know why.
No one's worried about it. I didn't want to do it.
Let's have the
Sam,
debate.
come
If
on.
no one's
I'll tell you
worried,
what. I have a general
This is a
rule.
great opportunity.
I don't start a debate based with people on a lie. And how about you get
sabotaging?
How about you get
Steven,
to
show yourself, you coward. Steven, show yourself. Don't show your co-host.
Ethan, you should show yourself.
I'm here in Manhattan Beach this morning where the community is gathering for an event.
At Spectrum News, we're committed to our communities around the clock, delivering stories that inspire.
Ethan, how can you respect yourself as a man, brother?
Steven, you are such a coward. Stop showing your little leprechaun co-host who comes out dressed like your sidekick.
Come on, Ethan, why do you have to bring on a
show
Steven? 30th of the viewership.
Why is this the saddest thing I've ever heard? So you have a guy with less viewers to come on to debate him because you can't?
Well, obviously, if I'm a layup and not a debater.
Well, look, you're the one who called. You're the one who got
started the one that got angry about
Show
it.
Steven. Don't be
Hold on
such a
second.
coward.
All right, hold on. Let me hear what Pigpen has to say here really quick.
Fair enough.
But
Steven.
Ethan, look, I don't. Hold on a second, Ethan. This is because initially I came on here to talk with Ethan. Ethan, come on, man. Look, the same reason that I haven't ever had a conversation with Sam Seder is the same reason that Joe Rogan, Sam Harris, Brett Weinstein, Dave Rubin, Ben Shapiro don't own anything. It's based on a lie, Ethan. Just
What's
like
the
you
lie?
claiming my Ethan.
What's the lie?
You claiming my
What's the
booker
lie,
reached
Steven?
out to you, Ethan, when you know
Steven,
that's
what's the
not true.
lie?
There's no
What's
one
the
ducking
lie?
you,
Why
Sam.
are you
I've
so
never
afraid.
Sam,
Listen,
Sam,
I
Sam,
think
Sam,
you're
Sam.
a smart guy.
I can call out Mike
I don't
Tyson.
understand why
It doesn't mean that I'm
you are
ducking him.
so worried about this.
Why do you
I
feel that?
honestly
Why do you
don't.
feel that anyone, Sam? Why do you feel that anyone owes you airtime when you have a 40th of the audience and you've been doing the
I
show?
don't think anybody
for 10
owes me
times as longer?
airtime. I think that Ethan has just given it to me. I didn't ask him for it, and so
no, you've been begging
the
for
real
it for a long
question
time
is,
with everyone
Steven,
bigger than
why
yourself.
Are you so worried about
can't build an
engaging with me?
audience, and so what
Why
happens is
are
he
you
uploads
so
15
worried about-
times more.
Do you think
has
your
less than a
audience
50th of the
says-
audience.
Well, that's
Do
why
you
he wants to
think your
debate you, is so he
audience-
can build his.
Do you
Sam,
think
come on.
your audience cares that I only have 1 million subscribers and you have what, 6 or 7 million subscribers?
Let me answer. Can I answer your question? Can I answer your question? Can I answer your question?
Sure.
Do you want me to answer your question? My audience would say Sam who? Just like Joe Rogan's audience and Ben Shapiro's and Dave Rubin.
Who I am.
Now they
This is so funny too, because here again he's pretending like Chris Dreyer said, "Wow, you really are not a political stream." Yeah, it's kind of a shock. It really is. Welcome, Chris. And by the way, I've become a little bit more of one, inspired by your comments on my YouTube videos. It's fun to see you in the chats, my dude. I was just showing a classic example of how unafraid the right is of Sam Seder. Now, keep in mind, like 5 minutes earlier in this, he literally, like, Sam just completely loses his marbles. Not Sam. Steven loses his marbles because Sam Seder is on and then mentions the showtime from the day before of the Majority Report. So he's monitoring Sam Seder in fear of having to debate him. It's just like really clear. And at this point now he's trying to say, well, nobody knows who you are. But like they literally made it clear that they were watching a show the day before and knew that Sam had left early. This is from like 3 years ago.
They all know who you are because you had to shoehorn yourself into another coward show.
College students every day that you do that.
Why are we? Hold on a second. Hold on a second.
They don't know who those college
This is another
students
lie.
are.
This is another lie. Let me clarify, Sam. Let me clarify, Sam. To change my mind, everyone knows on the show, right?
Yes.
We've had
How did
professors
you know
on the.
I ended my show early?
By the way, I'm gonna go ahead and shade these pages, and then we're gonna wrap the stream. So we may not watch the whole thing, because it is 4th of July. We're trying to kind of get some roughs done. Welcome, Chris, to our chats. And let's continue.
Last week, Stephen, if your audience
because
doesn't
you're
even know
an
me,
idiot,
how
and
did you
half
know
of your
that?
staff
Do
doesn't
you
like
watch my
you.
show?
Because I'm a diehard fan.
Yes, it's because he's a diehard fan.
If you're
I've
a
heard
diehard
of you,
fan,
but I just
why-
met you.
why not
Congratulations,
have me
Sam Seder's fan.
and Stephen
I'm just
have a
a huge
conversation?
fan.
I will talk
right now,
about
every
the
time I
issues
try and
that
talk,
you
you're
want to talk
interrupting,
about,
Sam.
Stephen.
Right now, I'm trying to talk with you. You're interrupting, Sam.
bombarded the show.
Okay,
you
go ahead.
bombarded my show under a false pretense. You claim
Bombarded?
just like you claim that I ducked the debate with you under a false pretense. Have I ever?
That is what the Politicon people told me.
What's bizarre is he literally has a recording of the Politicon people telling him that he was ducking the debate. Like, it's not like a forged recording. Like, it's fact. It's like, it's so proven, and it's hilarious, like how much copium is going on right now. And Chris said, yeah, I can't watch all 8 hours of video, but I started watching another one. Again, it's hard to get through because right in the beginning you say that Tim brought up his music first. I already corrected that on my last stream, Chris. You were correct on that. That's like the one thing I kind of got wrong was the timing of that. I kind of get into that on the last stream. I know it's a long stream. I just felt like the novel worth of comments that you were leaving on all my different YouTube videos were worth a little bit of time to address, you know. So yeah. But anyhow, and by the way, it was asked in your chats or in the chat before, Chris, how like what you were working on. Like it sounded like you wanted to draw. It'd be interesting to hear about your art ambitions. In all seriousness, it would be fun to hear. Because it sounds like you were saying you wanted to learn working in Photoshop, and I think that's actually a really novel ambition, and I encourage you to do so, regardless of where you lean politically. Okay, let's continue.
Is that what they told you? Well, so you're just lazy with your research?
And if big tech is...
You continue with the lie. You need to research...
Honestly, Chris, though, it's like, I don't know, I'm guessing you live in the U.S. It's the 4th of July, my dude. Enjoy your 4th of July. Come back to the videos on, like, the 5th. You know what I mean? Not trying to say don't check it out. Like, I'd be more than happy if you watch them, but, you know, enjoy your holiday, man. Assuming, I'm making a wild assumption here that you live in the U.S. Okay, let's continue.
Did Steven ever accept?
They said you were.
Let me explain to you. Let me explain to you. Let me explain. Hey,
whoa,
whoa, Sam,
and you literally
Sam, sweetheart, Sam, fake stand-up comic who we can't find any footage about online. Let me finish.
A stand-up comic.
Oh, you're not? Okay, that makes sense because everything that I've seen is incredibly unfunny and unentertaining, which may explain the audience.
Irony alert, Stephen.
Comedian.
How much have you watched of my stuff, Stephen, that you think that your audience wouldn't appreciate our discussing things?
Sam.
Oh, nice. Chris said, yeah, I was actually a subscriber a long time ago and watched Corey Kerr's videos. I live in Boston. And he said, actually, that's why it's hard to catch a live stream. Yeah, I can understand that. I'm on days off, so that's why like these live streams have been kind of fun. But I appreciate your subscription. And let's continue.
Samuel, can I answer your question?
Yes.
So you have gone on, you've done the same thing with other comments. Everyone has a bigger audience than you. Because you said, I want to speak with Steven Crowder. You believe that at some point there was some acceptance? When have I ever done a Politicon? Ever? As a matter of fact, in the last decade, I haven't done a single political conference. I hosted CPAC for 4 years and stopped because they suck. They don't pay and they're full of losers.
What about
and you've been clamoring for it, and it's a lie.
Told me that you dropped out of doing his show because
this is just hearsay and gossip.
How can
I've never met more of a woman.
Career when he wants to keep debating.
I don't know.
Talk about any of this.
All right.
Let's talk about the issue.
So, Ethan, do you want to have a conversation, Ethan?
Let's talk about the vaccine because
Ethan, do you want to have a conversation? You're going to hide.
Absolutely, I do.
So why are you hiding behind Seder?
Oh no, me and Sam are aligned. I'm not hiding. He just
you're just a liar. So you're a liar. Because remember we said, hold on a second.
I mean, it sort of feels like you guys are the ones who are hiding.
Really? No. This is actually
who snuck it on you.
I love it. I'm sorry. It's one of the funniest things I've ever seen. And look at this face. It's like red-faced, just utterly shocked that he's going to have to potentially debate somebody without preparation when that's what he does to people all the time. Ladies and gentlemen, we're at the 2-hour mark. Oh, we've got 4 more panels to go. And on this beautiful 4th of July. And we're going to go ahead and hit... We're going to go ahead and watch the Wordzoid trailer one more time by Jim Lujan, the brilliant Jim Lujan. And then we'll continue to watch Steven Crowder lose his marbles and Sperg out because of Sam Seder, who no one on the right apparently is afraid of.
Well, Peter, since I'm such a big music fan, I'm going to have to go with Karen Carpenter. Oh, Stu, I'm sorry. That's the incorrect answer. Trish, what you got for us?
I'm gonna go with Kim Gordon.
All right, let's check that answer. Kim Gordon. Do we have a Kim Gordon? Yes, and that means you're our new Wordzoid champion, Trish. Dale, tell Trish what she's won. Trish, you've won a copy of 2 stories, a memoir of faith and mental illness. Handwritten, hand-drawn, and handed to you by artist and writer Joshua Kemble. But wait, that's not all. You've also won a copy of Jacob's Apartment, the story of a doomed romance. What happens when you take eternal sunshine out of the spotless mind and put it in a blender with Ghost World? You get Jacob's Apartment, written and illustrated by Joshua Kemble. Trish, thank you for playing Wordzoid.
All right, great job, Trish.
I was told I was gonna get a lifetime supply of paper towels.
Chris said, I want to see Sean Fitzgerald debate Sam Seder. Sean's terrible with debates, but he's really smart. I think he's okay at debates. I've seen him hold his own against like Destiny. I think he's pretty good at debate. It's just hard. It's just a hard thing. Like, honestly, you know, even though like Steven Crowder here is looking like an idiot, I would look like a moron talking to Steven Crowder. You know, I would, because I don't spend all day like researching politics. I'm drawing, you know. But yeah, I think that would be a much more interesting discussion. I think Sean would probably be able to hold up a little bit, and at least he has like the knowledge to, you know, back his position, you know, even if his position is something we disagree with or I disagree with. It'd be interesting to see. We're almost done, you guys. So let's wrap it up. And watch the rest, at least as much of this Sperging as we can, before calling it a lovely July 4th. America.
Who's the guy who never appears on stage, never does a live show,
but is
never even allows a shadow of comedy to be perceived on his program? It's just hiding. Right. Everything we do is out in the open. H3.
Steven, you're wearing a holster.
We agreed.
So what?
Hold on a second. Yeah?
He's wearing a holster.
So? I want to normalize responsible gun ownership. Is that your debate? No wonder you had to bring in a hack for you.
Well, no, you're talking about comedy.
Strategy,
that's not very funny.
You have a holster, bro.
Also, your sponsor is Spartan.
And he takes advantage of mentally ill women for a show.
Is about gay boy love.
Okay. All of it. All right, Sam. You got it. You got it. I hope you have a wonderful highlight reel.
Hold on. Let me just make one point.
Hope you enjoy Politicon.
Hold on. Let me make one point, Steven.
Take it easy.
Steven, don't bail. Don't bail, you coward.
Hey, Sam, one thing before I go. Can you take off your glasses?
Hold on.
One thing before I go. Can you take off your glasses?
We just want to see.
I just want to see if you take them off, if you have the Velveteen Rabbit buttons. That's the only thing I'm curious about. It's the only interesting part about it.
Or if there's a soul.
Let's debate.
Take off the glasses.
Let's debate, Steven.
Don't hide behind the glasses.
Don't be a coward.
Don't say let's debate, Ethan. You've lost
Debate the issues. What does it matter who you debate, coward?
So Philip said, I'll be around later if you're still on. Chris said, I spend all day researching politics while video editing and stuff. That's awesome. Yeah, I listen to this stuff sometimes. I like listening to debates, but generally I like a variety of stuff, you know. And I will occasionally like read the news and try to kind of keep in touch with things. Luckily this year I feel like I haven't had to as much. And I've just recently, you know, started buying like some really mild amounts of stocks, like really tiny stuff, you know, like just because it's something I was never raised with, you know, I kind of grew up like poor. And so the idea of even like investing was like just not really a thing anybody in my family did. And so I've done a little bit of research on like responsibly investing and stuff like that. And so I've been like doing little micro stocks, and that's one reason I'll also watch the news a little bit, is like if there's something on the news that I think is going to cause everybody to freak out and sell their stocks, I will try to scoop up little percentages here and there just to be a little smarter about things, hopefully. But yeah, anyhow, Chris said sorta it's kind of a waste of time. Yeah, it is, but it's funny. Okay, we got 2 more panels to go.
All right, good. You guys are good. Thank you. Won't even take off the glasses.
I was right.
All right, yeah, you can
run away.
You run away twice. Cold feet again.
Come on, Steven.
Wow. Wow. Dude, I can't believe he admit to following.
He admitted that he followed the show last week.
We got him.
That is hilarious.
The show last week.
We got him.
Early.
Dude, we played him so hard because he literally was following. He saw that you went live, dude. We fucking got him.
Oh my God. We fucking nailed him.
Holy shit. So do you want to respond to here? You want to throw him up, Dan? Do you want to respond to anything he said now that he's not talking over you?
Well, I mean, look, he's obviously lying about the idea that he wouldn't want to do.
So this is a legendary moment that went kind of viral online. Obviously, there's some other stuff about Steven Crowder that's come out in the last year that I think like should make people a little less sympathetic, honestly. Certain video footage that just like honestly you just can't justify, regardless of like relationships are complicated and stuff like that. That kind of stuff. So anyhow, makes one even less slightly sympathetic to the guy. But anyhow, so that's Steven Crowder getting demolished. Let's watch just like a tiny bit more, and then we'll kind of call it a day on this lovely July 4th. Let's see here. Chris, I'm glad you came in the chats, man. That's awesome. Said I have a Huon canvas and a Inspiroi. I don't know. I haven't figured out how to draw with them too well. Any beginner lessons you can recommend? I actually really recommend Corey Kerr a lot. I don't know if he gets into anything specific about Wacom tablets. I'm trying to think of like, I'm trying to think of like who might go into like Wacom tips and stuff. Cause I mean, this is just a crappy tablet. It doesn't have like a screen or anything. I know that Scott Cirkland has a really good, like if you're interested in doing comics, he has like a really good breakdown of like the whole thing. But Chris was saying, well, just drawing in general with the tablet and Photoshop, it feels weird to me. It just takes a bit. To be honest, I'm not as proficient at drawing in Photoshop either. But that's part of why I'm actually kind of okay with doing roughs on them, because they're rough and it's like, but it takes a while to kind of get used to. I think I hate to say it, but I think a lot of it's just practice. You just get used to it. I've been doing, digital art for like 20 years. So it's gotten easier, but it took me like, months and months and months to kind of get as familiar with the tablet as I am with like a drawing tablet. I mean, not a drawing tablet, like with drawing on paper. You guys, we're going to actually call that because, you know what? While I print it out and make a JPEG, we'll watch the rest of this, just recap, and then we'll call it.
Do a debate with me because his audience wouldn't know. Here's a guy who literally tracked my show last week because he was afraid that this would happen. Here's a guy who claims to have watched, I don't know what it is he said he watched, but he's not worried about audience not knowing who he's debating because he sits down with random college kids and sandbags them on their campus. I have the recording from Politicon when they called and he backed out. I have emails from Gavin McGinnis, whose show I would have never gone on, except he offered up a debate with Crowder and Crowder left. And so, I think Steven is afraid of debating somebody. Look, I do a political show every day. It's dry,
I don't.
It's boring,
it's obvious.
and you don't.
Yeah, exactly. And
he's
so if he
afraid.
wants to debate the issues, what's the difference between me and anybody in the world?
I mean, only that he is convinced that for whatever reason, he's nervous about debating me. I don't know why. I don't know why that's the case.
But
I debated Charlie Kirk at Politicon. It was fine. I thought Kirk did a fairly good job.
Okay, guys, that's going to do it. That was a little bit of the legendary Ethan Klein versus Steven Crowder debate with Sam Seder from the H3H3 podcast. If you want to check it out in its full amount, I'd encourage you to check out episode 238 of that. It's very funny. And I will see you guys on the next live stream. I guess we should close it out with some America business. And by the way, Chris, I really do hope you find do more practice, get more used to it. I know I've been getting politically heated and stuff on these streams, but honestly, one of my joys in life is seeing any young artist pursue art and get better at it. And honestly, just don't get discouraged because it takes a while. if it's coming out kind of sloppy at first, like that's completely normal. And a lot of it's just like trying to get those fundamentals down and just practice. Of the people in our circle, I would say Philip Chandler is a really good person. Christopher Runciman. If you check out just their drawings, you can learn a lot about drawing just watching them, because they're actually better at drawing than I am. And with that, we're just going to give like a big America send off, and then we're going to call it a day. So let's put on our rock and roll. And let's put on our, let me see if I can get the, what I'm going to call the American effect.
It's July 4th. You've watched Joshua Kemble's live stream, episode 286. America, America, America. Enjoy your 4th of July. And I'll see you guys on the next live stream. Happy 4th.